So, removed all the level clips. Grout joints are nice and clean. It's important not to let grout squidge through a bit there. And then that means the clip doesn't come off properly. So you've got to make sure your lines are clean. It's only one. I think I might have stood on it a bit, I'm not sure. It's level. So I've had to clean that out. As long as you get it, if it's standard set adhesive, as long as you do it within 2 days, it takes about a week to fully harden. So I managed to clean it out, look. So I've drilled the hole. This is the tile for the radiator. It should just about work. This just about covers that. So once I fit the radiator, drain down the system, I can put this on and that'll cover over. I should have used one of those compression stop end instead of a plastic, because I forgot they're a lot bigger. So once I drain down, that comes off. This goes on, goes over the hole. Looks really nice. And I'm just hoping I've cut the centres for the radiator. So just drill this tile next. So I've taken the clips out. Always clean your grout lines the day after you've done adhesive. Otherwise, if you forget, like I've done in a few places, it's really hard to get out, whereas the next day it's still soft on a standard set adhesive. So door now, I thought I might have to get a bit off. It needs about 2 mil planed off the bottom. So I'm going to do it up here, create a little bit of dust, but it's about 2 mil. That's all it needs off. Typical, eh? I knew, because obviously I've put back a board on the floor and then put the tiles on top. But the tiles are done, all looking good. So we'll crack on with the planing of the door, 1 mil. So I've cut all the bottom tiles. Don't need any there because the toilet unit and vanity are going to block all that and you won't be able to see it even when you open the door. So all these are done, all along here. So once I've got them in, I can start the grouting. A lot of grouting. We're having probably mosaic or a herringbone on this soil stack. So that's going to be okay. So I've just got to cut. Now I've got to go and fix all these tiles in now, but I haven't got enough adhesive. So I have to go and get some. Hold tight, Happy New Year! January the 1st. So that's on, not fully tightened up yet. I'll let the silicone go off and I'll do that tomorrow, give it 24 hours. Shame that I did that too low, really, and it's slightly to the left. I don't know how I got that wrong, but it's still okay. It doesn't have to be like that. It's plumb, so that's good. Still all reach up. My house is only 5 foot, so I'll work out for a Sunday the 2nd, Jan, on the acoustic wall panels. Now I'm to space them out. Wow. Done the bottom tiles, they're glued in. So most of the tiling's done now, except for the soil stack. So mirrors on. A little wired in this end. I've just got to wire it up in the loft off the fused spur. So that's good. So yeah, it went on pretty easy. Had to measure it and get the screws exactly right, but it's gone on. It doesn't weigh a lot, so I'm quite happy with the acoustic wall panels. They're a bit tricky to sort of fit because I've not done it before, but that's turned all right. There's a gap there because you can't lay these out like tiles. You can't cut a slither off of this. It has to work perfectly with the wall because it wouldn't look right. But I've got a unit going in there anyway, so I'm not worried about that. And this side, this reveal will be tiles going up to it, so it'll hide that. So onto the dreaded bath panel. I've got a tiled bath panel with Carrera white going across, and I'm going to build an access panel there in case I ever have to work on the taps or another poor plumber comes along. So always plan ahead. So I'll video that later. Hold tight. So I've knocked up a quick square frame to start doing the bath panel. I've got to go 20 mil in so the lip of the tiles comes out in line with the bath. so that's a bit tricky. I've done the set out, so that's my centre of the bath. So a tile there and a bit, tile there and a bit, and that bit there will be a panel. So I'll silicone instead of grout that area, so that if there's any issues with the plumbing, we can take it off. So hold tight and watch for the next exciting part of this bath panel Carrera tile build. Hold tight. 10mm tile board on, look, screwed in onto the battens. This is the tricky bit now. I've got to do, this has got to be removable. So I've done the set out of the tile. The tile will run from there to there. It'll be on backer board. I'm just putting in some more battens now, and then I'll screw it on, and then when I tile it, we'll work it out from there. That's how we roll. Hold tight. So this is the removable panel I've created, and so we can get at the plumbing in the future. It's on 10mm backer board, and this goes in like so, and then I've got 2 holes there and there for the nice mirror screws that go in, and they finished off with a nice chrome top. And then what happens is silicone all along here, where I've sort of should have done it a bit deeper, but once a bit of silicone's in there, look okay. Silicone down the edges, silicone there and silicone there, then that'll get grouted as usual. So that means in the future, if we need to get access, it's only silicone. You can cut the silicone, set the colours, cut the silicone and take that panel off. We've got colour matched silicone, so that will be we'll have it white from there and white across there, but the rest will be grey to go with the grout. So I'm just going to do this up now. Got a little bit of trim as well to go on there. So that goes like so. That's the best I could do with that really, and then the silicone will come down and hide that joint, which will look alright. Right, hold tight. So using the old Grout 3000, like a homogenised mix consistency, so it just sits on the trowel. Always do a little bit at a time, because it'll catch up with you. So I've started grouting here, and I've done like 10 tiles, and I'm waiting for that to go. You mix it and you wait for 3 minutes and remix it. So I'm conscious of where I started, and that's going off now. I'll get a little bit more on here, and then you've got to time it so that you empty your grout, and then the bowl doesn't go too hard. So it's all in the timing. This ain't too bad because it's big tiles. That'll be a bit harder. But if it was loads of metros or mosaics, oh, it takes ages. So I'm hoping to get the walls all grouted today. Hold tight. So grout's going in well. I've on the niche, upper niche, lower niche to do, and all these, and then that'll do me for today. And then all I've got left is that wall and the floor, which I'll do in a couple of weeks when I finish this job I'm doing next week. But it's going in. I mix up a small amount at a time, do a small area because it can run away from you, and then I then sponge it off. Hold tight. So what have we done? Grouted. Still dirty, got to clean it off. Grouted, mirror on, acoustic wall panel on. Bit upset, it's sunk down a little bit there. Probably about 10mm, but it's not much. The ceiling was out because when I plastered it months ago, I had that problem with the plaster going off too quick, so I didn't get it level. So I should have scribed that in. So I've got a grout round here. I'm going to do the lights in a minute. I'm going to put the smart lights on and link them to this nice view plug, which we've got a switch, which we're smart switch, so that we can program it, have 6 or 8 different mood settings. So first press will be very bright, and then the second might be some like bath one, and that'll control all the niches as well. So, but I'm keeping the pull cord. So you'll turn it on the pull cord and then just adjust it if you want it different. That's the plan. So the pull cord will work the extractor fan, which I've got to put in yet. So so today I'm hoping I can get the toilet in and grout and get the lights all done. Hold tights. So let's fit this toilet. Go and find it all. This is the toilet unit. So I'm cutting it down, ready to go against the saw stack. So that's my shape. That'll allow the unit to sit nice in there, and then we can run the waste through. So the unit's in place. This is going to get tiled at some point. So now I run this, line the toilet up with the saw stack, and then this will need jigsawing out, and then we can connect the flexi onto our waste, connect the cold feed up, and toilet should be flushing. Marking the holes on there, using a deep hole marker. Screw, so drill them in, ceramic tile, so just a ceramic tile drill bits, which I have here. These ones. And then that will fasten that against the tile wall. Then I can line this up with a toilet and cut, jigsaw out the hole, so allow the waste and the cold feed to come in. I've got the new waste. I've had to use a 90-degree elbow flexi and then an extension piece because the toilet is quite recessed, the outlet, and I've had to put an offset 110mm waste on there. So 3 fittings. Don't like to have too many joints, but because it can have more chance of a leak, but that's what we've had to do. Hold you tight. So toilet centered. What I'm going to do now, I've drawn round with a crayon around the toilet, and then what you do is you cut about 10mm inside that, because you've got to allow for the soil stack pipe and the flush pipe. Flush pipe sits quite close to here, so as you can see I've got that line. I'm going to go about 10mm, probably a little bit more inside, take this panel off, move the toilet back and cut round, and hopefully it will fit. So I've cut the hole, so I cut inside the line all the way around. It all fits. Initially when I put this on I didn't push it all the way down, and I thought, oh my god, there's a gap, but it was just me. So this slides on up and down. So next is connect the toilet waste up. So on this amazing toilet installation, I've got the flush valve set up, cistern on, sits on a little bracket at the, and then you secure it with screws just to stop it lifting off if you want to, but the weight holds it. Got my waste on, ready. I'll put a bit of washing up liquid on the seal so it doesn't pull off, not too much or it will fall off when you flush. Flush valve's always a bit tricky, but I just measure it. That's why I've got to cut off going into this toilet, and I've got to take 150 off of this, so I'll cut that with my normal handsaw. And you've still got some tolerance of movement. Then you can move this up and down. It moves up and down a little bit inside the cistern, but you haven't got much adjustment here, so you've got to get the height of this correct from under there. You sort of find your own way of doing it. Hopefully it'll work. Hold tight. So I've connected the fill with the flexi. You can use an elbow. I didn't have any. There's loads of different options for connecting onto there, but I've got the room. It just goes there. I've just got to screw that in. You don't want to overbend a flexi, but that's adequate. Okay, 90-degree. And then I've measured some plastic push fit, and then I'll put that on. I use some joint compound. I use some super seal inserts, the ones with the gaskets on. You use the other ones with compression fittings. Right, hold tight. So I've cut the flush pipe it all fits. If we look down, so it's sticking out about 80mm because that's the depth of the unit. So this has got to go in, bit of washing up liquid on it. Waste is just right, that'll hook on there. But before you, I've learnt my lesson with this, before you do that, you need to drill the holes for your anchorage points for the toilet system, so basin unit, so pan. So I've marked them exactly where it's going to be sitting and pull it out, and then I'm going to screw the holes. This is porcelain, so I need to get some porcelain drills bits. So filling and checking for leaks. So flush pipe's alright, I've flushed it already. I fill it a little bit at first and then empty it, do it like that. I always have my wet and dry vacuum on standby. So it's not leaking there, it's not leaking there, flush pipe. The waste, no, not leak there, there's nothing underneath. It's not leaking there, so it's all looking good. So we'll do a few more flushes to make sure, then we can put the panel on and then it's done. Hold tight. So we have a toilet. So seats on, done the side brackets, done them up. I'll probably get some chrome or brass covers for them. These are clean off. But enough hole saw, 40mm hole saw. So that's there. Flush valves all set up. I've adjusted it for half flush and full flush. So all I've got left to do when I finish the bathroom is silicone around here, around the bottom, but I wait for a bit. So if you get any leaks, you've got to cut it all off. So it'll get silicone there, there and all the way around. Right, on to the next job, grouting.